You're listening to Dan D'Antoni Sports. And we are back from our quick little break. All right, guys, when we left off just 2.5, 3 minutes ago, we were talking about the fan experience or lack thereof of these NBA playoff games, NBA bubble games, including the playoffs. Real quick, because I want to move on to other sports because we're running out of time. Dan O'Shea, did you watch the Jazz Nuggets playoff series?
Not all of it. I did watch the final few games.
It was nuts.
Sorry?
It was nuts. Like, the best series I've ever watched in any sport. Like, it's definitely up there. And the fact that we got to watch a little rivalry in the making between Donovan Mitchell and Jamal, what's his name? Why has this happened to me? Jamal Murray.
Oh, yeah.
I kept thinking Marbury, but that's not right. It's not Marbury. He's Chinese basketball now. But
I didn't think Jamal Murray was that good, to be honest. But I kept getting shocked every time he hit a giant three.
Yeah.
I thought he was good, but I didn't think he was that good to, go toe to toe
with Spida.
Yeah, it was unreal.
And sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that Game 7 between Boston and Miami, the game-winning blocked dunk by Bam Adebayo, the other real highlight for me in all of this. But I want to move on to more of your expertise, the NHL. The NHL, great. A lot of good hockey was played, and the Stars made the Stanley Cup Finals, which I was very happy about.
Yeah, that was. I'm sure that had to hurt.
No, actually, it didn't. I told you when the Stars
Yeah, you did say that they were going to lose.
I said they were going to get swept. Said if Toronto wins, or if Tampa wins, the Stars are getting swept. But they won a game, so.
They did. Yeah, Tampa was just such a powerhouse. And
literally the best team from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. And they really got some of that toughness that they didn't have last season, which is what allowed them to get swept in the first round last season. They weren't ready for playoff hockey, and they changed their game, and it seemed like they really learned from last season and just took it to every team that they played.
That sweep, like you said, it was Carolina that swept them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a well fuck moment, I think, for them.
Yeah. So I definitely think they took that to heart, and it really showed this season, bubble or not, they didn't give a shit what happened. They were coming hard for whoever they were facing, and they did, and they were successful.
To quote Michael Jordan from The Last Dance, they took offense to that.
Yeah. They took that personally.
Oh, that's what it was. I took that. Yeah. They took that personally. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was some really entertaining hockey. I thought the Stars looked great.
They had times where they looked really bad, though.
Yeah, that's going to happen with a young team that's never been quite up that high before. I thought their series against the Avalanche was super fun. That was one of the most back and forth. And then Tony, Vegas performed pretty well. Obviously, I know you wish they had done better, but they played some great hockey as well.
There's so many Game 7s in the NHL playoffs.
I know. That's what I loved about it. It was so exciting. I was like, every day, I was like, there's more good hockey to watch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my Rangers couldn't quite make it into the actual playoffs. But we ended up with the number 1 pick and got Lafreniere, so I'm a little bit happy about that.
For a moment there, it almost got even worse for you because the Islanders, for a game, looked like they could have been a real threat to Tampa.
Yeah, I was nervous, and then it was like, boom, Penguins are gone. Boom, Islanders are gone. Flyers are gone. And I was like, it just keeps getting better.
Yep. And I just enjoyed so much watching hockey in the bubble as well. It was, again, it was great. I almost better than watching the real thing. But
honestly, this might adapt to something in the future because I've got to imagine teams kind of liked not having to travel back and forth constantly. But then again, I guess, it's going to be hard to sell out crowds, and, you kind of want that home court advantage.
Although, I was just about to bring up before you said the sell out, the NCAA tournament sells out all the time. And that's essentially a series of bubbles. So, it could. Which, by the way, boo to NCAA tournament not playing again. I know that we talked about this already, but my Penn State football team is terrible this year. At least you should have let me see the basketball team do something good.
I gotta agree with you there. especially with my ducks shitting all over the place.
Yeah, but I feel like this football season really doesn't even count anyways. It doesn't feel right. With so many games being canceled, so many people, opting out and all that, it doesn't feel like it's an actual season. But we'll talk about college football at a later time because we got a lot to talk about college football. Let's talk right now about baseball. All right, baseball. For the first time ever, I watched every single Oakland A's game. There were only a handful of them, basically, but yeah, and I got to watch them win a playoff series for the first time in a long time. So I'm pretty excited about that. Not excited that we got beat by Houston, the fucking cheaters, but yep. Got to watch the A's. Anyone have anything more to talk about with baseball? Dodgers win the World Series. Finally. It feels like for the first time in a long time, the best team in every sport, or top two teams in every sport, has won the championship. The Dodgers, we got the Lightning. As much as I hate to admit it, the Lakers. We had LSU win the national championship. It feels like in the year where everything's going wrong, sports is going right. I mean,
it's going right for the number one teams, but yeah, I can't say the quarantining changed my baseball viewing habits very much.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I watched so much baseball is because I got a free season of MLB Network or whatever it is from T-Mobile. But yeah, I wouldn't ordinarily watch that much baseball. Baseball's boring. Like at game 50, I was like, Jesus Christ, how much longer is this season? And that's a shortened season. Normally there's 162 games, and at 50 I was like, holy fuck. But
look, they have to shorten the season.
It's insufferable.
162 is too much.
I don't know how. I don't know how people get excited about watching 162 games, especially if you're a fan of the fucking Orioles or other bad teams, because it's like, all right, here's 162 of these things that are going to happen, and only 30 of them are going to turn out good for me. I think 60 games was a good season. Obviously, people are going to want more. A lot of people are arguing for 81 because it's half the season, but they can't go back to 162 games. It can't. The 60 was refreshing.
Just do 100 or something. A nice middle ground. 162 is just bananas.
Right. That's almost half of the year. Just in games alone. We're not even talking about days off. That's half a year. Yeah, but it was nice to watch a little bit of baseball, but I'm never going to do that again. Never going to watch that much baseball again. And then brings us to the NFL. And the NFL just seems like they're doing everything wrong. They're doing things right, but they're doing it wrong. And this is an unpopular opinion, but there's no reason, and some teams are getting completely screwed by the inconsistencies in the NFL. There's no reason that the Ravens and the Titans should be able to get their games rescheduled because of COVID.